Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, radical and beautiful blessings, everyone. Welcome. I am super excited for what we are going to jump into today. Drop me a note. Let me know you are here. I cannot always see you unless you do comment. So I want to know who's joining because this is going to be your opportunity to ask some questions. I'm also going to talk about some other ways we can dig in. But today is going to be all things human design. So I am super excited. Good morning, Song. Good morning, Mel. Good to have you ladies here. For those of you that are just jumping on, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are tuning in from. I know we've got people from all over the world that are part of this community, and super excited because we are continuing to expand this community, the conversation, what we're doing, and want to bring and shed some light on your unique energetic soul blueprint. And what do I mean by that? It's interesting because I want to give you a little bit of background on why human design is so important to me and why it's so powerful. Because today is all things human design, and I'm going to share a lot. And I'm going to give you some information on how to dig in more in a way that's not so academic, because I will share with you what the chart looks like, and it can be extremely overwhelming, and you can find yourself going down massive rabbit holes in every capacity. And I will tell you, I have explored most of those rabbit holes over the last 2 years, as I actually had a client that introduced me to human design, and something about it really spoke to me. I've done, and part of my design, you'll find out why I like this so much. I love assessments. I love to have a better understanding of who we are, how we operate, what's our truth, how we get to show up in the world. And for me, there's a lot of different things. Gene keys are out there. There's personality assessments. I have found in my years of digging into various ways that we can understand ourselves better, I have found that human design is without a doubt one of the most comprehensive, if not the most comprehensive, aside from the Akashic records, which I am not in any shape or form equipped to train. However, I do know people that are. Aside from the Akashic records, I have found human design to be the most powerful tool that's available for us to really understand our own energetic blueprint. Good morning, Bridget. Good morning, Sarah. Love seeing all of you on today. And as I was saying, the human design is truly, in my opinion, the most comprehensive way to look at why are we the way we are? Why do I have this personality? How come there's certain things that when I do them, I have resistance, yet other people do them and they seem like they're in ease? And a lot of that has to do with our energetic blueprint, our human design. And so one of the things I want you to realize about human design is it really is this way to bring in Eastern philosophy and Western science. And so what do I mean by that? It truly takes in the Kabbalah, I Ching, your chakras, astrology, numerology, and quantum physics. And what it does is it maps out the energy that was going on when you came into this world. And so there you will see when you get a chart done, there's actually 2 dates on there. There's your design date and there's your birth date. Your design date sort of, in the way I like to call it, it's the day you sign your soul contract. So it's the day that you agree to what is your purpose, what is going to be your gifts, how you're going to be showing up in this world. And it's the soul contract you sign so that the universe rearranges itself to say, then we need this energy working this way so that you can come into the world on your birth date. So you have these 2 areas where when you create that opportunity to say, this is who you're going to show up as, there has to be like this whole way to make sure that you are coming in the best way possible to activate that soul contract that you've set for yourself. And so that's the easiest way I can explain what human design is really all about. And so what's interesting is there are 5 types, and I'm going to go through that, and I'm going to go through some of the different elements around what's in the human design, what does it really mean, what is it not. as we talk about some things this morning. And so good morning, everyone. As you are jumping on, we are talking about all things human design today. Really, honestly, one of my favorite things to talk about these days. As I said, I've been going down lots of rabbit holes and digging really deep over the last 2 years. And so as we look at, it's really looking at bringing those things together to map out I want to call it the tools, the levers, the flavors, the activators for how you get to live your soul's purpose. And so when you think about that, it is truly that blending of Eastern philosophy and Western science. It shows you where. So the whole aspect of human design is it's a way to show you how to access your own body's consciousness. Your own body's consciousness as a decision-making tool, your own body's consciousness around how and where you get energy and how and where you use energy, and how to live your life as your true authentic self. And so one of the things I found really interesting as I've dug into human design is that we have a culture, we have a society, we have a world that has this notion that in order to succeed, we have to crush it. We have to hustle. We have to go make things happen. Yet when you look at human design, 90%, actually like 92% of the population in the world actually is designed to not do that. And so we wonder why we have stress and overwhelm and anxiety and burnout and frustration and resentment and bitterness and fear, because we have somehow convinced ourselves that we're supposed to show up in the world that is absolutely 180 degrees counterintuitive to how most of us are designed. 8%, and the numbers, depending on who you talk to, which teachers, 8% of the population actually is the get it done, make it happen, push it out there in form, where 92% has a different human design, and 75% of us actually are here to wait to respond. And so I'm going to talk about that means, because sometimes there's a myth that says, well, if I'm supposed to wait to respond, I guess I'm supposed to sit on my ass and do nothing. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about being able to generate energy and say yes to the things that light you up, so that when you're working, it's not working for the sake of work. It's not expending energy in the wrong spaces. It's not being busy for the sake of being busy. It's actually you being aligned to your soul contract, your soul's purpose, making that then your soul purpose. And you then are using your energetic blueprint in a way that allows you to have ease and grace and flow, and it's effortless. And I will tell you, I wish I would have known this. I'll be 48 this year. I wish I would have known this in the beginning. I probably did know this in the beginning, and somehow it got, taken out of me as we go through all of our ways of learning. And so it has taken me a long time to unlearn all of what has been told and shoulted all over me. And if you remember, I asked in our last Facebook Live, who would you be if you stopped being what everyone else told you you should be? If you let go of all the shoulding that you've imposed on yourself and all the shoulding that you've allowed everyone else, your family, your culture, society, the legacy of stuff that's just been handed down to you, if we let go of that shoulding and say, who am I really? And I even posted today around the Tao Te Ching. It's so interesting how these are all synchronistically aligned right now, right? And so it's, who are you when you take away all of that shoulding, all of those labels, all of that responsibility? And if you allow yourself a moment to actually get into a space that says, there's a coding, there's an energetic blueprint, there is a design that was created, hence your design date, that was created when I agreed that it was my time. And if you haven't seen the Disney or the Pixar movie Soul, I highly recommend it, because you can see that there's a soul contract. It is like such a great way to talk about how we choose our time and how we're going to show up in what body and how we activate and what that looks like, right? So I highly recommend you watch that movie. It's just powerful for what we're talking about. Shoulding, right? Yes. Hello, Miriam. It is a great word. And I want you to think about how we need to stop shoulding all over ourselves. Some of you think I said something else. I'm just saying, and I know y'all can feel me, because the shoulding is no different than the shitting we do all over ourselves. And it is the crap we like bury ourselves in. Yes, Soul, the movie Soul. Please check it out. It is incredible. And it really is a way that you can see that soul contract that we set up in our choice to enter the world in the capacity that we do to activate this purpose. Because once again, your gifts are not yours. Your gifts have been given to you to share in some capacity with the world. And when we understand that and take responsibility for that, we need to then say, then what was that soul contract I signed? What is that energetic blueprint? And how do I activate those gifts at the highest and best capacity? And like I said, I truly don't think there is a better tool than the human design map that is out there, that is available. And I know many of you have done some aspects of human design, and some of you have found yourself in different rabbit holes. Yes, an amazing movie, Mel, totally agree. You have found yourself going down some rabbit holes. I had some people yesterday even saying, oh my God, I went and did mine, and now I'm just like getting lost in all these rabbit holes. Yes. And what I want to do is I want to create a simplistic way for you to dig in. I want you to understand what you're actually looking at. So the first thing I want to do real quick is I actually want to just show you a sample of what a, maybe if it lets me here. If it lets me, oh, that's not what I want. Hold on one second. Here we go. I want to just show you what a sampling. I'm going to show you mine. This way I'm not violating any of my clients or anything like that. I'm just going to show you mine, and I'm not going to go through it in detail. We don't have time for it on this call. I'm going to talk to you about how we can actually get into human design more. I'm going to give you a pathway to do that. I've got a way that we can do this, break it down and make it really simple. And so what I want you to do is I just want you to see for a moment. Let me pull me on. Hey, you can see it. I just wanted you to be able to kind of get a sense for it. Is comprehensive. There is a lot of stuff in there. You can't hear me. Oh, hold on. You can hear me now. Somehow I got to figure out. I showed you my screen. So let me reiterate. You saw the screen. Let me just say what I was saying when you couldn't hear me. That I just wanted to show you how comprehensive that is. There's a lot of information that is in that chart, and it can be overwhelming, and you can look at it and go, I don't even know where to start. And so what I want to do is I want to give you the high level today, and then I'm going to talk about a way that you can actually dig into your own specific human design at a more detailed level. I have created a way to make it really simple and fun and take some of the academic aspects of it and let you engage with it so that it actually is something that is meaningful in your life. So I'm going to talk about that as I end the call today, but I just wanted you to get a sense of what's all in this chart. That is your blueprint, your energetic blueprint. And you can see there's a lot in it, right? So what I want to do is I just want to walk through a couple things with you today just to give you a taste of what's available to you in that. So first and foremost, the thing that gets defined in your human design is the aspect of what type are you? And so there are 5 types in human design. And so what I'm going to do is, let me put this up here. There are 5 types. There is the manifester, there is the manifesting generator, there is the generator, there is the projector, and there is the reflector. Now, 92% of the world, like I said, is in a position where they're not supposed to be making things happen. The only 8, it's roughly 8, 9, whatever percent, depends on who you talk to, 8% of the population that are manifestors, these are the people that are here to inform. They are the people that actually take initiative without waiting to get respond. They don't have a defined sacral, and I'll explain what that means in a minute. So they don't actually generate energy, they create it. So they create a space to inform what's needed. They take a vision, they are manifestors, they say this is what needs to be in the world, and it starts to activate, where then the manifesting generators, and projectors are the ones that bring that to life. And so the generators are the workers in the world. And it's not to say, so I want you to realize that when I say this, it's not to say that the other types are sitting on their backside doing nothing. The way they work looks different. So manifesting generators and generators both are generators. It's just that manifesting generators think they're manifestors when actually they're generators. And so they have to reverse how they inform, which I'm going to explain in just a moment. So when we look at that, the workers of the world, the people that are here to like just generate energy and like get after it and like make it happen are the generators. Yet it's not that they're supposed to go out and just make anything happen. What they're supposed to do is actually align it with what lights them up. When they get into this space that is really aligned with their soul purpose, when it's really aligned with the way that their energetic blueprint is set up, when they're really aligned with what they're passionate about, and it is a hell effing yes. Like there is no question for them. They tap into their sacral and it's like, yes, that is what we want to be doing. They can generate energy for that, like endlessly without pause, and they actually regenerate energy as a result. That is when they are in the zone and playing in their sweet space. The projectors, on the other hand, sometimes want to work like generators, yet they are actually here to amplify the energy of their environment, their community, the people around them, the people that have the energy, so that they are activating their energy at the highest and best level. So if you think about a projector, they are sort of your project managers or your program managers, right? They are sort of those people that are herding cats and making sure that all the puzzle pieces fit. They are the person that when a generator starts to get tapped out, they help them see why and where they're tapped out so they can help them activate and generate that energy again. Projectors are also people that they tend to have energetic bursts and then they need real deep sessions of rest. So for those of you that may not even have done your human design, if you're like, man, I feel like I go really hard and I can do like 12 hours of work in 3 hours. And then I'm like, holy crap, I need a nap. You might be a projector, because projectors actually need to give themselves space for regular rest periods throughout the day. Reflectors then are these weird, like little unicorns. And I say that with a lot of love and grace. They're about 2% of the population. Reflectors are these individuals that are truly here just to show us, to reflect, to illuminate the health of our environments, our communities, the world, whether it's through physical expression, whether it's through intuitive expression, or whether it's through emotional expression. So all they do is they are telling us their superpower. And so when we talk about the superpowers for each type, I'll start with the reflector since that's what I was talking about. Reflectors have this ability to sense or perceive the physical, psychic, and emotional health of an environment, community, or group. They are here just to highlight what's not working or what's working well, so that then the projectors can help amplify the generators to do the work to create the change and get things moving forward. It's why when you're in an organization, and reflectors probably struggle mightily in most corporate positions, because people wonder why they're not getting shit done. They're not here to get shit done. They're here to report back whether we're getting shit done well or not, and whether we're creating healthy environments, teams, cultures, groups. So if you put somebody in a position that you know they're a reflector, they actually can be a huge asset to your business. However, if you're putting them in a role to be a generator and get work done, you're going to be misaligning them in a way that's actually not helping you. They're going to get frustrated. They're not going to know how to do that work. They're not generating that energy, and it's not them playing at their highest and best level. When they can be someone that's there to reflect back on, here's what's not working in our culture. Here's what's working in our culture. Here's what I see. They have an incredible intuitive way of perceiving opportunities, perceiving blind spots that the rest of the types cannot, and they have this innate wisdom that they can share in that space. So reflector superpower is the ability to really perceive and sense physically, psychically, and emotionally the health of what's going on around them. Projectors, their superpower then is understanding others deeply. And I like to say they have an innate way of seeing the superpowers in other people. They can see strengths, especially for generators who have a really difficult time sometimes seeing, especially manifesting generators, having a really tough time seeing their gifts in their greatness, in their glory, in their fullness. And so projectors actually are these incredible humans that can really dial in to other people's superpowers. They see others deeply. They see around the corners. They know how to bring a bunch of people together and align them in a way that this puzzle becomes really magnificent, right? They can see the big picture, oftentimes where some of us get lost in the weeds. They have a clarity and a way to organize structures and processes into productive action. So again, like I said, your projectors can be amazing project managers, like just program managers, project managers. They are your people you want herding cats. They are their people to take a big vision and be like, how do I look at who's got strength in what areas and how do we need to activate that? That is their really just genius space in terms of their superpower and their work. Then there's the generators. Now, I'll talk about the manifesting generator in a minute. Both are generators, so there's a lot of things that are in common. And when I talk about the way that we go deeper, I will share very clearly where there are differences. But both manifesting generators and generators are here to do the bulk of the work. It's 70 to 75% of the population are some form of generator. A generator is someone whose superpower is to create and amplify energy and they are really good at working and staying busy when they are doing work that lights them up. Like they get into the zone, and you've probably known a generator that when they're in the zone, they're locked in, they're dialed in. It's like myopic. They're on one thing. They also love and have the ability. This is the generators. Manifesting generators are a little different. Generators really get into a space where they become masterful around the things that they take on. They like to get into one lane. They like to focus on one thing. They like to become Yoda. So if you think about the Yodas in the world, those that are truly masters of their domain, they have a niche. They have one thing that they're known for. Maybe they have one or two or three, but they don't have a lot. They are really a master in their lane. They're like a Yoda. Those are your generators. When they are in a space that lights them up, they have this innate ability to master things over time. Where then there's the manifesting generator, which I am. I am not a master. I actually get bored with things and need to have more than one thing going on at one time. It's why some of you are like, Candy, are you in this space or are you in this space? Are you in this space? And sometimes my answer is yes. Because as a manifesting generator, I actually need a little smorgasbord of things, and I prefer to be a Jill of all trades versus a master of one. And this is where a manifesting generator and a generator are a bit different. I still, as manifesting generator, we are still here to create and amplify energy in the things that light us up. And one of the things about a manifesting generator is we move extremely quickly. We also can let go of unnecessary steps that would not be okay for a generator because we are about initiating and getting things moving. And where we think we're like a manifester, we actually wait to respond and then inform what we're doing so that we can bring others along. Because we're going to talk about the fact that the manifester then, as we talk about their superpower, the manifester is here to act independently. They're here to do their own thing. They're not here to like do anything other than whatever is inspiring them, whatever comes through them. They are to initiate action. They are to put it in the world, and they are to impact other people just by doing that in that space. The generators oftentimes see something that a manifestor does and says, ooh, I like that idea, and then get lit up in the response of what was just informed and initiated. So hopefully, is this making sense for y'all? Drop me a yes. I know I'm going kind of fast. I just want to, and you might have to come back to this, but is this making sense? Is this getting you excited a little bit to be like, man, I wonder what my human design is. I want to lean in. And some of you have done human design with me, and yet there's still more to uncover and learn as it relates to human design. So yes, thank you, Mel. Who else? I mean, are you getting excited? Are you feeling the juice of this? This is just on the types, right? We have so many other things. And so I want you to think about the manifestor is here to wait, is here to actually, their strategy is around informing. Manifesting generators and generators, their strategy is to wait to respond. Now, waiting doesn't mean you're sitting around. Waiting simply means, are you allowing your energy and your intuition to say, yes, like hell yes, hell effing yes, that is for me. And you are responding to those things that light you up. It is all you're doing from the minute you wake up to the minute you go to bed. As a generator, you are responding to the things that light you up. Oh, I love this. Fascinating, curious, right? Yes. Projector, you are actually here to help amplify others. And reflector, like I said, you are here to reflect the health back in terms of how are we doing with all of this that we've got moving in any space or capacity. And so what I want you to think about is about 8% of the population is manifestors. About 30-ish% is manifesting generators. 35%, I guess, ish is generators, or you could say kind of 35 and 35, maybe about 70% totals. Your manifesting generators and your generators. Projectors is about 20%, and then your reflectors are about 2% of the population. So you can see not a lot of manifestors, not a lot of reflectors. The bulk of us, the 80% of us, are living in the generator or projector space in the world. Actually, 90% of us, right? So as we talk about that, let's talk about the types of questions. So think about, even if you haven't done your human design yet, I don't know why my voice just got all squeaky there. That was weird. Maybe I need to take a breath. See, this is me being a manifesting generator going fast. So I'm just going to take a breath, because I know some of you are absolutely not manifesting generators. And you're like, holy shit, Candy, this is a lot. Whoo, take a breath. Let me slow it down a moment, right? So there's questions that typically show up for each of the types. For manifestors, the question usually is, who am I impacting? They are here to spark change in the world around them. So their question every day is, who am I impacting? Who am I impacting? How do I create this change? For a manifesting generator and generator, the question they're constantly asking, and many of you who have been seeking your purpose are probably in that generator space, because you've been like, who am I? Who am I? What is my truth? And how do I know myself deeply? How do I understand who I am and how I'm wired? Who am I? The projectors of you, the question that tends to be some form of this will be, who are you when it's related to other people? You are more interested in who other people are than you are in who you are per se. You are constantly asking, who are you? Who are you? Who are you? As you're engaging and interacting with other people, and you are here to deeply see and understand and guide others. Again, you're here to amplify those that don't even know the gifts and the greatness that they have. And the reflector's question is, who am I when I'm with you? Because they want to know, is this a safe space? Is this a good space? What kind of energy do you have? Who do I end up being when I'm around you? So these are the questions that show up for the 5 types. Now, one of the things that also is prevalent in our human design that we go through, and I love this, because when we really look at, once you understand your types, there is what I will say, profile, centers, gates, channels, oh my. And then there's incarnation crosses and arrows and the colors. And I mean, there's just like layers and layers and layers. I want to give you a little taste of the profile, centers, gates, channels. Oh my. Because when we talk about that, the profile is, there's 12 profiles that are available in your human design. Your profiles actually are sort of like your archetype. They are what I would say is the base for your personality. And so it's your life purpose. It's the way you show up. It's your role in society. And so your profile, one of those 12 distinct profiles, actually also shows you the dance between duality. So it's showing you a conscious line and an unconscious line. And so I'll give you an example. I am a 6-2 profile, which means my conscious line, the line that I actually know better, the line that shows up first, the line that most of you know about me, is I am a role model. So I'm an out. I'm here to lead. I'm here to inspire. Yet the duality of my profile is the 2, which is that unconscious line, which is a hermit. So while I love to be out and doing this, when I'm done, I like to not people it and go deep. And I'm very introverted. So I have this dance between extrovert and introvert that is actually the comprehensive way my personality shows up. And it's interesting because only in the last couple of years have I really gotten to understand my unconscious line, because a lot of us, it's called unconscious for a reason. We don't even know that other side of ourselves. We don't even know that duality of, and we can't understand why we feel burnt out or why we get frustrated or why we feel this resistance, because oftentimes that unconscious line has been hidden, that we're not honoring the other side of us. We all have a yin and yang. We all have a masculine, feminine. We all have a duality about, if we do this, there's the other side of it that shows up for us, which is how your profile is, how your profile sets up. And so this is the opportunity for us to understand our basis for where our personality came from. It's in your profile that starts to become clear why and how you interact and engage and show up the way you do. Now, as we get into the channels and gates, that gets really defined into a specific way. And your profile is that archetype or that personality. It's the baseline for that. Okay. So we get into that because we really start to understand that we have this duality. There's the conscious way we show up. So the place that we're probably more in tune with, although some of us still need work even on the conscious line to fully understand, oh, that's my superpower. I do that because, and I can remember people would tell me, Candy, you have this different way you lead. You have this different way. And I used to fight and struggle and have a lot of shame storm that used to show up for me when people would be like, you're too this, you're too passionate, you're too whatever. Yet when you look at my lines, when you look at my 6 line, it makes perfect sense, especially when you get into my gates and channels. But when you look at my lines, of course I am that way. And when I can embrace that and understand that and stop resisting it and trying to make excuses, apologize, or change it and allow myself to be in flow with it, life has gotten so much easier. When I'm in my strategy, when I'm in my authority, which is dictated by the type you are. So your strategy being to respond, your authority saying, I'm an emotional being that needs to ride out kind of my emotional waves. When I do that and know that I'm really lit up and step in that space and then let my profile lead, the dance becomes so much easier. And so I say that because when we understand that about ourselves, and once you get into the 12 profiles, it's like, it's so crystal clear. And for those of you that have done, can you be shades of a couple? Yes. And I will say that's an interesting question, Miriam. You actually won't be shades of a profile. You will have gates that then may allow you to show up in some different ways, depending on how you activate your centers, which I'm going to talk about next, but your profile doesn't change. And when you really understand it and get into the specifics around it, it doesn't change. Now, I love this question because one of the things I want you to realize is just because your human design looks like this does not mean it's the end all be all how you have to be and you're locked into it. That's a fixed mindset. What shows up is your profile says, your map says, these are where your strengths are. These are the fixed things about you that are natural tendencies that you can keep honoring and growing and developing to bring your gifts forth. The areas that are unconscious or inconsistent or undefined, as I'm going to talk about in just a minute, are the areas where actually your biggest growth and expansion can happen. So when you have the area, and when we get into our centers, which are basically aligned with your chakras. There's actually 9 of them though. We have this space of they're either defined, which means they're fixed, which means we have an internal intuitive way we use our energy or transform our energy in that space. We also have undefined or open centers, which means there's an inconsistent way we use or transform our energy in that space. And it's because we often are influenced by external things, people, or our environment. And so those undefined and open areas, and they're actually different, but for right now, I'm just putting them together. The undefined and open areas are our biggest opportunities for growth, because once we understand that we are taking on a lot of emotion, influence, energy from others outside of us, we can then learn how to discern what serves us best. Like for me, I have an open head and ajna, which are the two top centers, which means it's a really awesome space because I don't get attached to anything. I love to learn. Like I am a voracious learner. I read and consume. I can't go down rabbit holes enough. It just excites me. I like to ask questions just for the sake of a question. I don't even need an answer. And I can be influenced a lot by other people around me. So I've had to learn how to harness that in a way that allows me to activate my superpowers versus shutting me down and having me say yes to things that are not aligned with my hell yes, with what lights me up and gets me caught up because somebody should it all over me and I took it as the holy gospel because I believe this about them. So for me, one of my biggest areas of opportunities is how I choose to discern what information I filter in, what I choose to believe, the stories I create for myself, my conditioning, my programming, which look, it's the thing I'm teaching most of my clients and I get to do and practice with all of you, right? Because it's our biggest opportunities oftentimes for expansion. So when we get into that, when you understand there's a way that kind of like you're just kind of hardwired, and then there's this way that you're like, and you can still grow and develop yourself in there, but then there's this wide open, juicy space of, ooh, I get to really kind of lay the landscape and choose and figure that out. And so that's where the nuances come in. Oftentimes it's in your centers, oftentimes it's in your gate, your type and your profile won't change. That being said, how you show up could change based on what you learn, the wisdom that you gain, how you choose to discern things. The more in tune you get to your centers and understanding how those chakras are working for you. And then when we move into your gates and your channels, which are the specific coding, your DNA coding that says this is how you respond to that, or this is how you use that energy. And there are 64 gates and there are 36 channels. And so there is no chart that can have more than 26 of those 64 gates activated. And yet every person has a different combination of what that looks like, and a different combination based on your type, your profile, and your centers then creates a unicorn's map, or a very different specific map that is to you. The only people that are going to have a map that looks just like yours are people that came into the world at the same location, same time, same day as you did, because they have a soul contract. Now, how they choose to use that soul contract may be different. And their profile or their chart is going to look very similar, because that is taking into account when you were born, where you were born, and what time you were born. That actually creates that energetic coding around who and what you are. So thoughts or questions about that before I talk about how we can get into a deeper way, because I would love to play with y'all and let you actually do some work in your human design. And like I said, there's sort of the whole academic side, and then there's a like, holy crap, yeah, that's me. Yeah, that's me. Oh man, now that I know that, that makes so much sense, and I can activate that. And I know a couple of you, even on the call, both you've either done human design or you've done it with me in a really deep capacity. And like I said, there are always more layers to learn. I am constantly peeling back the layers, and every time I peel back another layer, I'm like, holy cow, that's just amazing. I can't wait to really embody that so that I can activate that at my highest and best level. And I will tell you, since doing this, my human design, things have changed drastically in terms of me being able to allow what presents to offer me the space to respond. And for me, and so like for generators, I'm just going to say, because for you in particular, there are two things I want you to get really comfortable to start saying. It will change your life. Manifesting generators and generators, since you are 70 to 75% of the population, is yes, right? Yes, yes, yes. I love you, Mel. Yes. When you're sacral, and she knows what that means. She's done some human design. But I want you to realize that those of you that are manifesting generators and generators, the two things I want you to start, I'm going to give you a little juicy tidbit right now, because most of you are some form of generator, just in knowing people. And this even works sometimes for the projectors, because projectors just need to wait for the invitation. And here's the thing. A projector can't give advice freely, but when someone asks them their opinion and it's juicy and it's like so good, but the ways to activate that. But for a generator and manifesting generator, the two things I want you to think about are, let me sleep on that. I want you to realize that most of you need space before you say yes to anything, unless it is really like, there are times like Mel right now, when it is a yes. Trust that, let your intuition guide you, and you are a yes. Sometimes when you're like, oh, that's exciting, I kind of want that, blah, 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 you need to let yourself kind of ride the wave of, do I want this? Not, and be like, I need to sleep on that. And make sure you wake up and it's still juice and there's still fire to it. When you know the yes, hell yes, take action. That's the response that's being asked through you. And you're going to learn the dance, because this is so powerful when you learn it's a hell yes. And you're like, I'm just going to tell you, even what I'm about to offer you guys and tell you as a way to do this was a hell yes yesterday for me, when all of a sudden I'm like, oh my God, we're talking about human design. I want a way to help you activate your own chart. I want a way for you to be able to feel this energy and know where your gifts are and how to embody that and express that and be in your truest way that you get to show up. And I was like, hell yes. And oh my God, I was on fire last night. As soon as I said yes, all this stuff dropped in, right? I love that. Oh, hey, Jennifer, how are you? I love speaking to people's souls. You guys, I love you being here. So then I want you to think about the other question for a manifesting generator, or the other statement for any kind of generator, is learning how to say, I'm not available for that. For those of you that really struggle with saying no. And man, when we play in this space with what I'm about to tell you, when we play in this space, you are going to learn how to say no, and you're going to learn how to do it with grace that says, I'm not available for that. Because you're going to learn how to tap into that sacral to be like, do we have energy for this today? Yes or no? Does this light me up? Yes or no? And when your sacral's like, no, you're going to be like, thank you so much. I am not available for that. Okay. So here is what I want to share with you. I decided I've never done this, cannot wait, because I have been looking for a way to let's break it down into the pieces of human design and have you be able to get in your own human design. Because I have a higher end way that I work with people, which is a series of 7 sessions one-on-one with me, where I actually do a full, complete assessment for you. We talk about it. We build your life script. That is a possibility. Yes. And I am feeling so excited because what dropped in for me in a way that I could serve, that we could play in this, and you can actually go down the right rabbit holes and know how to stack the pieces and start to uncover what's in your human design, the juiciness of it, is I am going to do a virtual workshop the week of June 6th. And so what that looks like is it is 3 days. It is Tuesday, June 8th, Wednesday, June 9th, and Friday, June 11th. And it is 2 hours each of those days. It is 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Central Time. Now, the juices, can you be on there live? We're going to go through your actual stuff. So one of the things for those of you that want to play in this, I'm going to send you the link. It's free for you to fill in your information to get your chart. You're going to send that to me, and I'm actually going to customize how we engage in the workshop based on what types, whoever's participating, what are your types, what are your profiles, what are the centers, so that while we'll talk about the other pieces, I want to help you directly activate your human chart in your human design chart in the highest way possible. So we are going to do that for 2 hours each of those days. And notice there's a space Tuesday, Wednesday. We're going to do a lot of stuff because you're going to get to do some work. And then we're going to come in and I'm going to break this down so that the first day is all about understanding what type you are, understanding your centers. So we're really going to get into your type, your strategy, your authority, the arrows, your line, and the centers on day 1. Day 2, we're going to talk about your specific profile. So we are going to do nothing but those 12 profiles because there's so much juice in that. We're going to talk about the conscious line, the unconscious line, 12 profiles. We're going to dig in. You're going to see and be like, oh, yep, that is totally me. I get it. Got it, right? Day 3, then we're going to start talking about the channels and the gates. We're going to start talking about your specific nuances, like your finite superpowers that when you activate them and they are all playing together, nobody looks like you. And you get to then like put all the pieces together. And so I am creating this space, and you can go here and find out about it. I will drop it in the chat when I'm done as well. But it's just at candybarone.com, living #in #HD, because this is about living in high definition. This is all about how do we do that? Hey, Terry, I want you to realize that this is an opportunity for you to say, I'm a yes. I want to know about my energetic soul blueprint. I want to know my human design in a way that actually allows me to live in full high definition color. So this is about living your life in HD. And for some of you that have really been struggling around your purpose, this is going to be a great space to get you to dial in, to understand yourself. You may actually realize your purpose. First of all, it's already with you. You are your purpose. We keep looking for our purpose as if it's something outside of us. Yet what we don't realize is we in the entity of who we are, how we came into this world, what we are here to serve, we are our own purpose. And so I want you to think about this. This is going to be extremely dynamic, extremely interactive. And for those of you like, man, I just can't do it at that time, I will also be recording all of these. You will still get activated if you cannot be on there live, and you will have lifetime access to the replays as a result of being part of this workshop. And so this is a virtual workshop. This is a way that we can activate. And for those of you that share your human design chart with me, I will then customize the content of how I'm doing this training, what we play in, so that we spend more time on what is your stuff so that you can actually customize this and actually get a better understanding of your human design. Now, if you're like, Candy, I really just want to go deep, reach out to me, send me a message. Like I said, I have a whole different way you can work with me. Obviously, it's a bigger investment. It is a way that I will actually map out your human design chart for you. We will do 3 deep dive sessions on it. We'll do a live script. You can do that. If that's then message me separately. This is a way that we get to play together as a community. This is a way that you get to lean in. And I guarantee, even for those of you that have done work with me before in human design, what you get in this workshop will be different. There are some new layers I've uncovered, like the 4 arrows. Cannot wait to share that with some of you and what that means in the coloring of your gates. Powerful, powerful stuff that if you've done work in human design, it will take you to the next level. If this is your first time, it's going to get you started in opening up access to that energetic soul blueprint and for you to really start to align yourself in your soul's purpose. And so, because my intention is as we start to look at how to shift the level of consciousness and how to raise the level of leadership, we have got to be able to align ourselves. And so I asked the question yesterday, what are you doing to continue to enlighten yourself? Because it's only as we peel the layers back and we get into the trueness, the oneness of who we are, and we understand our purpose for being on this earth and what we get to activate, we then learn how to make our soul purpose our soul purpose. And so I want you to understand, many of us are distracted. We're busy for the sake of being busy. We have all these things competing for our time, and we keep waiting to live in the authenticity of who we are and living in alignment. And I'll tell you, you would have told me I would have been doing this 5-10 years ago. I'd have told you were crazy. And I will tell you that the change that's happened for me and my clients that have been in this space has been drastic. I love this, Mel. I love more clarity in this space. Yay. I love you, Mel. And I want you to realize that I have been in a position to be waiting to respond. And it has been a hell yes that now is the time that we activate that soul contract that we all signed, and we understand what that means so that we can shine our light, because now is the time for us to play full out. There is no dimming your light. There is no playing small. There is no shrinking. We are here to take up space. We are here to shine our light in its full magnificence. And the only way we can do that is when we understand who we are and the gifts we've been given to activate in this world. Because once again, those gifts are not yours. They actually belong to those that you are here to impact and influence and create change and to activate. Some of you projectors are here to activate others, and understanding that we're not to fit in some sort of box. I mean, one of the things I've learned as a manifesting generator for sure in a 6-2 profile is every box someone's tried to put me in, the reason I resist is my entire design is not to be put in a box. I am here to disrupt. I'm here to blaze new. By the way, manifesting generators, that's your role. You're here to cut new paths. So doing things like everybody else is not going to work for you. Same thing with projectors, right? They're here to amplify a new way of doing things. Reflectors, you're that in the space of that help. And so when we can activate collectively, think about what we get to lift in terms of the vibration and the consciousness from there. So for those of you that this is a hell yes, welcome. I cannot wait. There will be some pieces that you get in between now and June 8th when we kick things off. There is also a private Facebook, because we are going to activate in the workshop daily. And you will be getting some other things that help you navigate through, because if you've ever worked with me, you know, my default is I'm going to over deliver. You're going to get all kinds of tools and resources, and you're going to get a lot more than just those 3 days that we are engaged in workshop together. And you will get an email right away that has the link so that you can send me your chart. Because again, you send me your stuff and I'm going to customize this. I'm going to make this specific to the participants that want to play in this. You will get lifetime access. I am super excited. I hope you are too. And with that, any other questions, any other thoughts? Hopefully this gave you a little bit of a taste of what is possible. Again, like I said, and I will probably do a couple more lives, just bringing some other pieces. In fact, I will. I can just tell you that came in as a clear yes. Yes, there will be more pieces. And if you really want to understand your human design, you got to get in it. You got to roll up your sleeves. It's not something you can just be like, oh, I'm this and be done. It's something that you need to peel back some of the layers and get in and see what and how that means in terms of what you're choosing, how you're managing your energy, how you're transforming, and how you're co-creating in the world. And so you are so welcome, Miriam. Thank you all for being here. I know this was a little bit of a longer one. Sarah, awesome. Hopefully I will see all of you again. And it's either a hell yes, or perhaps it's not the right time. And either way, that's okay. I just know that for me, it was very clear I need to be offering this, and very clear that now is the time to activate that. And I cannot even wait to share with you what's in my brain around what this workshop is going to look like, and feel like it is going to be extremely interactive. And we're going to play. We're going to do a lot of soul play, because there's nothing like play to activate your human design and activate your gifts and soul purpose. So with that, everybody, I love you so much. I will drop the link in. I will also post it in the group. Please feel free to share with others. You can share this live as well. You have access to share. I will be sharing this out. I do not know who. I just know that there are people that need to be here that have asked for this. And so I am responding with my hell yes. And we are going to learn how to live in HD. Buckle up, baby, because here we go. So excellent. I will talk to y'all soon. If you have any questions, just drop me a message or put it in the chat or in the comments, and I will respond as you guys are digesting all of what I shared today. I will talk to y'all later. Thanks, everybody. Have a great Thursday.